crisis intervention, which is what our folks are trained in. Actually trying to identify whether there's any ability to get them reconciled with their family up north and see if we can provide that opportunity for them to get reconciled with up north. We're finding that most of the people that are coming through downtown, and most of the people you'll find even in the county, are not long-term occupants in Sarasota County. They are passing through, or they are here on a temporary seasonal basis, like a lot of our seasonal residents. And we just need to make sure that our laws are being respected. This part of the problem is going to end up, before it's over, we're going to have to come up with a jail diversion program. 20% of the current county jail population is the chronic homeless. We're going to have to come up with some other way. Jails are expensive to operate, they're expensive to build. There is a cheaper way to doing this. Unfortunately, just opening up a center to let anybody come and go as they feel is not the way it is. You have the right to pursue happiness. The taxpayer is not obligated to pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're back to me for the next question. At this point, we're going to switch gears a little bit and try to learn a little bit more about each one of you. The question is, or the statement is, please tell us about your greatest career accomplishment and what skills and abilities you demonstrated in reaching that crowning achievement. And let's start with you, Laura, please.
Thank you. One of my greatest accomplishments, and I take a lot of pride, I had accomplished quite a few things over the years, is early in my career. I was in accounting, and I got transferred to a marketing arm of a mining company in New Jersey. And this site was deemed a Superfund site. And it had 19,000 tons of, well, junk to get rid of. Otherwise, they'd have to encapsulate it, and it would have cost the company $350 million to encapsulate this material because it had a lot of arsenic, selenium, and other products. Well, it was managed, I worked on it for almost a year and a half, and I managed to find a company in Australia willing to take it and recycle it. And they used the selenium to send it to China to make salsa blue, that kind of product. But they also had an opportunity to take out some gold and silver. So they got out a lot of stuff out of it as well. So I saved the company $350 million, and I was able to recycle about 20,000 tons of hazardous waste.
Well, I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the 51 years I have spent as a registered professional engineer in both Illinois and in Florida. And I started my career as a design engineer with the Springfield, Illinois firm Crawford, Murphy & Tilley. I then became the water distribution and water treatment engineer for the city of Springfield, Illinois. From there, I went to Cleveland, Ohio as the chief engineer for the Department of Public Utilities in Cleveland, Ohio. From there, I returned to Illinois as the director of building and plant operations to build a total new university on a 750-acre campus. When that was completed, I started my own consulting engineering and land surveying firm, which was Minder Incorporated in Illinois. I then came to Florida as a senior vice president for George F. Young Incorporated in St. Petersburg, Florida, working as their office manager in Sarasota County. I then was a regional manager for Post Buckley, Shoe, and Durgan for Sarasota and Manatee County. I then was senior project manager for Bennett and Bishop, which was a Sarasota, Florida firm. From there, I became principal engineer for Boyle Engineering Incorporation. And then when I left Boyle Engineering Corporation, I started the firm Minder and Associates Engineering Corporation, which has been located here in Sarasota County for the past 28 years. If I wanted to look at the project that I'm the most proud of here in Sarasota County, it's the Doctors Hospital site, which was a 40-acre site and an old mining operation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I gathered from your question that we're not supposed to say that our best achievement and crowning achievement was our family. So I'll skip right past that, but that was mine, without a doubt. I'm most proud of my businesses, all of them. We had 2 restaurants. They were closed 4 days a week. And I took a beautiful young lady who just had our last child and took her out of her job in the trust department of a bank, me with my accounting degree, and we ran restaurants day in and day out. We had a great time with it. We did no harm to anyone, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. The other business that I built nearly from the beginning with my partners, nothing in life gets done by yourself, was right here on Palmer Ranch. We started out at the time I took over as the principal, one of the principal owners. We had about 16 people here. And by the time I moved on to a regional and then a firm-wide role, we had 125 people here. These were real jobs with real professional environmental people, engineers, landscape architects, and planners. And they spent half their time doing public sector work. Your colleges, your fire stations, your sewers, your reuse plants, your water, and half their time doing private sector work. And that private sector work was not only the beautiful things like Palmer Ranch, it was your grocery stores, your pharmacies, offices for your doctors, great stuff, and I'm proud of every bit of it.
Thanks, Steve.
Carl Jung said that life begins at 40. Everything up until that point is research. So I feel like I'm just getting started. As far as a career, when people ask me what I do, because I've done a great many things, I just say Renaissance man. And I think that at this point in our civilization, if you look at what's going on in the large, in the big picture, and you look at history, we're either due for a dark age or a Renaissance. And I want to cultivate a Renaissance on new ways of doing things. And a large part of my journey over the last 14 or so years, since leaving to write and travel the country to write my second book, was looking at how we move past this system of consumerism and wastefulness and the undue suffering we create for ourselves. So a few years ago, I decided to spend a year without using money. And you might say that makes my career lifestyle stuntman, I don't know. But in the course of doing that and realizing the greater economic wealth in my own life, through the relationships that I was cultivating and through how I was interacting with my community, I was also instrumental in starting the Commonwealth Time Bank, which is the first alternative trade exchange in Sarasota, where instead of using money, you can use your time. And just during that time, I was able to fuse quite a few people together to be able to help one another and bring a little bit more cooperative community together. So it's been very exciting to watch that grow and to continue to watch it grow as we've grown over 400 members now, and I've got thousands of hours worth of service that have been created in the community that wouldn't have been so otherwise.
Thank you, Pete.
Well, I never went into it thinking that I was going to accomplish anything other than a favorable clinical outlook for the patients. But I suppose my career in traditional Chinese medicine it certainly took up the most time and the most resources, and I suppose for the patients who came to me, it was a considerable benefit. They all got better, and they didn't all pay, but they all got better. Now, the thing that limited it was not that patients weren't able to pay or that the insurances wouldn't pay. What brought it suddenly to an end was a couple of automobile accidents a year apart from the other. The first one had me reeling, and the second one had me pretty well knocked out. I was ailing for a number of years, and it was obvious that I could not maintain the clinic. I had to close it. And so I did that. And but looking back on it, yes, I guess I'd have to say that's the thing you're looking for when you ask your question. That's the one thing that was certainly qualify as being the big deal in my life.
Thank you.
Well, as of last year, I'm officially a published author. I wrote a chapter for a book called The Socioeconomic Considerations of Biotechnology. I wrote the chapter on cultural and religious considerations when introducing agricultural biotech to a community. But that's not really the thing I'm most proud of, even though I'm pretty proud of that. The thing I'm most proud of is my youth mentoring. It's one of the things that I really love. I was a Girl Scout leader for many years, even though I gave birth to 2 boys. I developed a nutrition-based self-esteem and beauty program for young girls in the early 90s, and I ran summer camps and workshops and worked with Girl Scouts and Girls Inc. and Just for Girls in Manatee. And I also got scholarships for guardian ad litem girls in the community. And I also did some outreach nutrition education to co-ed groups of youth through different faith-based organizations that invited me to come in and mentor their youth in the church. Youth ministry, that was the word I was looking for. So that's the thing that I enjoy the most. And even after I stopped doing that business, I would still offer internships to different students, particularly students at Newgate. They do a community internship, and there's a number of students from those schools that I've taught them things like how to make a film or how to tell a story. And so youth mentoring is something that's really important to me, and I think that it's important for a community to support its young people.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, the question is, what's your greatest career accomplishment? I guess is what the actual question was, and it's sort of hard because I have been blessed with a multitude of different opportunities in my life. That each one of them, I had 25 years with the sheriff's office. That some of it was absolutely exciting and thrilling and possibly dangerous. I got to see a lot of things. I got to see some of the worst, and I got to see a whole lot of some of the best in this community. I was blessed to get elected city commissioner, and during that time, I guess one of the proudest things on the commission time is actually being able to bring the neighborhoods and the business community together and actually try to get a form-based code started in one direction so we can hopefully have administrative review so we don't end up with the battles over development in the city. During that time, you know, I was given the honor of being, voted the best mayor in the region by SRQ magazine. But even all that, I would agree with what Al said. Even with all this and all the excitement that happens with, nothing I'm more proud of than being a husband and dad. I've got 5 great kids. They're all different. They're all good. I'm pretty proud of all of them. And I could brag for a lot longer than 2.5 minutes I probably got left on each one of them to tell you about how proud I am of them. So if you want to know what I'm most proud of, it's an easy service. I'm proudest to be a dad. So thank you.
Thank you. Paul?
Oh, that's easy. My greatest accomplishment is finding somebody with sufficiently low enough standards to actually marry me, first and foremost. There are little things here and there that I've done that I'm proud of. I'm an Eagle Scout, I'm an instrument-rated pilot. Those are individual things, but they don't really mean very much. Like you've already heard, I'm probably most proud of. I'm in business with my 4 older brothers. It's a complicated environment. We have been very successful. We work very well together. We have a 25-year span in this community. The kind of business that our former employees, their children come to work for us. A lot of that. And, anything that's worth doing is worth doing with other people. Which is why, I think being on the county commission or being on any elected board, there is no I in this thing. I mean, you are completely, in a legislative body, it is totally and completely a team effort. You have to work with people. So, and that's what I'm hopefully looking most forward to doing. because that's when you can accomplish things that are really truly gratifying. The individual stuff is just what it is, stuff.
Thank you. Tom, you have anything? We're starting to run out of time, so Rob has a question, I don't think it's gonna take too long,
Candidates, you're gonna like this one. By a show of hands, please let us know if you're in favor of the proposed extension of Legacy Trail from North Pomeranch to Payne Park in downtown Sarasota. Margaret,
we need a little money. We have many more questions, but we go on like, we're gonna give everybody a break.
There's so many candidates, so I think we're going to close this. I want to thank you all very, very much for coming. It was wonderful to have you with us. And thank you to our audience. And if you have any questions, please, by all means, come and talk to these lovely people. Charles Hines is here. Helen is here. I think she's still here. I'm sorry, I didn't catch my name. Jeff?
Elizabeth?
For me.
And you'll be with people out in the foyer?
I would love to be with you.
Okay. So thank you, everybody, very much. It was delightful. Don't forget the Macy's. You can buy those tickets out there.
So how many of these things do you have?